Okay, hi Jennifer. This is your natal chart reading. I do natal chart interpretations, usually one-on-one and over the phone. So this is kind of a new concept for me. I'm going to do 4 parts today of your birth chart, and I'm going to experiment with a couple different ways of communication. One being a video. So you'll get a little part of that and tell me how you like that, and then I'll also do some on audio and see how you like that, since you're going to give me some feedback. So let's get started. Okay, so you've given me your birth date, May 6th, 1970. You've also given me your time. I'm just going to confirm that. And you have told me your time is 6:36 p.m. and you were born in, let's see, Fullerton, California. So why is that so important that I have your birth time? Well, first of all, let me explain to you a little bit about what a birth chart is. A birth chart is, I like to call it a fingerprint in the sky. The moment you were born, the planets were aligned in a unique way that cannot be repeated, just like a fingerprint. Nobody else has your unique chart in the world. They can have similarities. In fact, if you have somebody born, say, a few minutes after you were born in the hospital, you, not knowing this, could have a time twin out there, somebody that also lived a similar path as you. But because the planets change some minute by minute, you never get that exact picture. So when you were born, the reason why we use the time is because we want to know where the sun was rising. This is called your ascendant. And this is a very important part of your chart, okay? So I'm going to get to that in just a minute. So we know that you are a Taurus. That is your sun sign. But what's really important to note, that is only one small part of you. There are 6 planets. We're going to start with those. There are 6 planets that make up the basic characteristics of who you are and how you perceive things. So it's kind of like as if anybody's ever called you Sybil. Well, yeah, we basically all are Sybils in some way. Okay, so that's really important to know. So there's 6 planets, and basically a concept that might help you understand how does this all work is the planets give off certain energies. And when we were born, it's kind of like we have a magnetic field. We are way more connected to the universe than anybody really realizes. And so the influences that they were giving off at that moment, you take on to some degree. You get influences of those. That's why we're all so different. In my opinion, this isn't an exchange for faith. It's just a tool. It's a tool of how, you know, the earth works, how the world works, how we're interconnected to one another. So, again, this is just a part of what you're influenced by. So, we're going to start with these 6 planets. So, we know, I'm just going to pull this up here. We know again that you are a Taurus. So, let's start with being a Taurus. Tauruses are ruled by Venus. And Venus is the planet, Venus is a beautiful planet. It's a planet of good things. It loves the good things in life. It loves love, loves art, loves antiques, loves history, all of those things when you have Venus influencing you. That's another reason why you're so beautiful, because usually if you look at Tauruses, they're very beautiful. And one thing that you'll see if you start looking is Tauruses have very beautiful eyes. My daughter's actually a Taurus, May 5th, and I call her the beautiful cat eyes. So very beautiful eyes. A lot of times they have very beautiful voices because, again, Venus gives those lovely things. They are also the people, especially Tauruses, that love makeup, love getting dressed up, love being classy, love good restaurants. You know, they just love the fine things of life. But we also know a little bit about Tauruses that they're the bull. And so They're very strong in their opinions, and that's a good thing. They have very strong beliefs. They're very passionate about those they love, their family. They're very protective. They're very loyal people. They're a good friend. You want a good, solid friend, you have a Taurus. They are ruled by the Earth. They are an Earth planet. So we have good in business. We have good, they're just earthy, they love the things of the earth. And they're just, they're really nice people. Some of the, things they say about Taurus is slow and sure, slow and right. Security is very important to them. Security in their family, security financially, security in their home. Then they really want to be surrounded by beautiful things, and as they should be. So that's really important. Okay. And we'll go back and forth to some of these concepts as they come up, but I want to be able to keep going on. So now we have two other influences that are very, very important. The ascendant that I talked about, the moment that you were born, is called your rising sign, and that is your outer persona. It's how people view you, and it's very, very powerful. This also is a part of lining up all your houses, which we will talk about. It's kind of like a life path. And really today, nothing I'm talking about really has to do with any past lives. I know that different people talk about those things, but my astrology readings really talk about now and somewhat futuristic, some ideas for the future, some things of the past, but in this lifetime. So we're going to stay in this lifetime because that's enough to have to deal with. So you, though, are a Scorpio rising. Okay, so earlier today when we were messaging back and forth, we were talking about those Scorpios. Well, you're like being a Scorpio. You have very strong Scorpio influences as well, but it's in your outer persona, and this is kind of a difficult thing at times because Scorpios, we know, especially in the rising sign, are very, very private. They have a hard time really letting all their emotions out. But at the same time, they are so deep in their emotions. They're very intense. They love intensely. They feel intensely, but, they have that guard. They're just not going to give that away to anyone. Having an intimate relationship is very sacred to them, and they just don't give that away easily. Okay, so again, we're going to keep talking more about that, but I'm going to take you through the basic planets, and then I'm going to show you how they work together. The next planet that I want to talk about is your moon sign, and your moon sign is where was the moon when you were born? Where was the moon transiting? And your moon sign is like your soul sign. To me, the moon sign is almost more important than your sun sign as a Taurus, because your sun sign represents your ego, kind of what you're here to be and what you're here to work out. Your ascendant, which is Scorpio, represents your outside persona, how you appear to others, how you feel on the outside of things. But your moon sign is who you are deep, deep down inside, that little child. Those feelings. It's your mind, what you really think. And your moon sign is in Gemini. So we have now the first three planets, which are the most important, making up who you are. And so we have Scorpio rising, your sun sign Taurus, and a moon sign Gemini. So Geminis, let's talk about Geminis. I don't know if you know any Geminis. They're born in June, anywhere from end of May to end of June, like May 20th to end of June. So if you think about that, you might really think about, you might have a lot of Geminis in your life, okay? Because Gemini, you're going to be attracted to Geminis. You have, Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Now, Mercury is a very, very fast-moving planet, okay? Mercury is our communication, and that's why you are drawn to radio, to possibly teaching. If you aren't teaching, well, yes, you do teach, you speak, you travel, And that's from that heart of you is a Gemini. Now, what's really interesting to me when I take a look at this, I see that you've got this Scorpio rising and this Gemini moon. Now here, there must be a lot of conflict because your mind goes 100 miles an hour. In fact, it's really hard to keep focused on one thing. You get bored super easy. You want to do something new all the time. That's that heart of the Gemini. Very flirtatious, very fun, communicative, #1 communicators, Gemini and Virgos, because Gemini and Virgos are both ruled by Mercury. Just like a Taurus, Taurus and Libras are both ruled by Venus. So when you start to kind of understand how this works, then you'll also start to understand the other people in your life and why you're attracted to them. I'm a Virgo ruled by Mercury, so you've got this Gemini moon. We both communicate, so we have no problem talking and communicating. You can see that on our Facebooks, so it's real evident there. But you've got this Gemini moon and this Scorpio rising wanting to keep things private, not wanting to lay it all out there, and yet this mind that goes 100 miles an hour that you just can't contain. And then you have this very stabilizing Taurus that I think probably stabilizes you a little bit. So again, we're talking about how all of these things work together, okay? So what I'm going to do, we're at 11 minutes right now. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to start a second one because I'm not sure how the email is going to go on these, how many minutes they'll take. So I'm going to start and stop this, and I will be right back with part 2.